Hi everyone and welcome to Triple M Adventures with Bill. You may have noticed when I did the videos on the Jumper T16 when I went through all the menus that under your receiver where you can bind your receiver it says bind on channel. Now this video is going to show you how that works and how you set it up in your radio so that you can have the bind option on a switch, which I've only actually used for the Syma quad because what would happen when you change the battery, you would have to go into settings and tell it to rebind, which is a bit of a bind. So I worked out how to do this and this is how you do it. So let me switch over to the computer and show you the settings in Companion, and then we'll go over to the radio and I'll quickly go through them, the settings in the radio. Okay, the first thing we need to do is set up a mix. So let's go to the mixes. And you'll see here that we have channel 16 is set up. Now, as far as I understand, it seems that channel 16 is the default for the bind option. Well, at least it is for the Syma. So if you were setting this up for another model, maybe you'd have to check that. You just pick that channel, but it seems to be the default anyway. Okay, so let's take a look. So in here, we need to name it. I've named it bind, and then now we're going to go on to set up a logical switch, and in this case it was number 13, and that could be 6 or whatever, but in my case it's number 13. Then the only other adjustments we need to make is to set a weight at 100, and that is it. That's all we need to do on here. Okay. Then we need to go to set up a logical switch. So let's go to the logical switches, and it was 13. You'll see there's a lot of logical switches for the Syma, but the one we need to look at is number 13. Now 13 needs to be and then we have to have the SF switch in the back position towards us, and then that is my arm switch. So what will happen is if the quad is armed, you couldn't accidentally try and bind again. It won't bind. Because it's already bound, so it won't operate. So that's a safety mechanism to say you don't actually unbind the quad while it's flying. Then in V2, we need to have SB at neutral. Now that's when it binds. Now what I did find that sometimes to get it to bind, I have to click the switch all through the 3 positions and back, and that time and then you'll hear it beep and it binds. So that's all we need to do in the logical switches. You must set the bind on channel option in this way so that it will only try and bind when the quadcopter or your aeroplane is disarmed. Now let's go over to the radio and I'll quickly show you the screens on the radio. Let's take a look at the bind on channel settings on the Jumper T16. Okie dokie. Right, what we need to do is the muddle button. Okay, the first thing we're going to go through is to the mixes. As you can see, there are lots of mixes on this radio for this particular model. Okay, we're going to click the enter button and we're going to edit. And there you can see the mix is named bind. It goes to the source's logical switch 13, which again could be any number that you've set it up, and the weight must be 100%, offset 0, and the diff 0 as well. And that's everything you need to do there. Okay, so we return, and then we're going to move along to the logical switches. Okay, we're going to go down to 13, and there we need to set up and in the first column, and then you'll see the SF switch, which is showing back at the moment. So my quad would be disarmed, and you've got the SB switch. Now I can actually demonstrate this now. So if we are armed, and my radio's just told you we're armed, you see nothing's happening on the bind. If I disarm, there we go, it beeps, and it will then be bound to your quadcopter. Now, the one thing I didn't show you on the video in Companion was that I also set up the sound. Oops, a daisy, let me return. If I go to the special functions and go down, you see I made a track there. So under special functions I linked it to logical switch 13. It's play track and it's the bind one. I think I made that sound up myself, and I will leave a link in the description of how you make sounds for your radio if you don't know how to. So that's everything. Thanks for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you really enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you, and please share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching. Happy flying. Bye for now. Bye bye.